I didn't correct her. That was the part that stayed with me the longest. My niece had pointed, that said it plainly, too plainly for a child to have made it up on her own. The room reacted before I could. A few laughs, quick and light, like it was just one of those awkward things kids say. No one asked where she heard it. No one said it wasn't true. I looked at my son. He wasn't crying. He wasn't even upset in the way you'd expect. Just unsure. Like he'd been handed something he didn't know how to hold. I reached for his hand. He came with me without resistance. We didn't say goodbye. I don't think anyone noticed when we left. The drive home was quiet. He sat in the back, watching the window, tracing something invisible with his finger. I kept thinking I should explain it, fix it, undo it somehow. But I didn't have a version of the truth that wouldn't make it worse, so I drove. That night, after he went to bed, my phone lit up, a message from my father. Make sure you send the utility payment tomorrow. No mention of earlier, no acknowledgement. Just that. For a second, I stared at it like it didn't belong to me, like it had been sent to the wrong person, and I was about to correct it. Then I realized it fit perfectly. That was the shape of things. Not just tonight, not just that comment, everything. I'd been covering their utilities for almost a year. It started small, just until things settled. Then it stretched. Quietly, without discussion. Without a clear end. I never framed it as obligation. But they never framed it as temporary either. It just became. And somewhere along the way, it stopped being help and started being expected. I typed my response slowly. You will get what you deserve. I didn't send anything else. No explanation. No argument. I turned off my phone after that, not dramatically. Just enough to let the night stay quiet. The next morning felt strangely normal. Breakfast, school drop-off, the usual rhythm. My son didn't mention what happened. I didn't bring it up. There are things you give time before you try to name. Around mid-morning, my phone started buzzing again. Missed calls, messages. I didn't open them right away. I already knew Urity services don't negotiate emotion. They follow schedules. Payments due, payments missed, consequences. By the time I checked, the messages had shifted in tone. At first, confusion, then questions, then urgency. Did you forget to send it? Something's been cut off. Call me. I read through them without replying. A few minutes later, my father called. I answered this time. What happened? He asked, voice tight. Controlled, but fraying at the edges. I leaned back in my chair. I didn't send it, I said. A pause. Short, but heavier than anything he'd said last night. Why not? I could have answered that a dozen ways. Explained the pattern, brought up the comment, listed every small thing that led here, but none of that would make it clearer than it already was. Because it's not mine to send, I said. Silence, then sharper this time. We've been relying on that. I nodded, even though he couldn't see it. I know. That's not something you just stop, he said. Maybe not suddenly, maybe not without warning, but nothing about last night had come with warning either. I think it is, I said. He exhaled, louder now. Frustration starting to surface. This is about yesterday? About something a child said? I didn't rush to respond. It would have been easier for him if it was just that. No, I said. It's about what made it possible for her to say it. Another pause. Longer. I could hear movement in the background. Someone asking him something. He didn't answer them. You're overreacting, he said finally, but it landed weaker this time, maybe because even he didn't fully believe it. I don't think I am, I said. I kept my voice steady, not cold, not emotional, just clear. You've been helping us, he said. Shifting now. That's what family does. I let that sit for a second. Helping isn't supposed to come with being dismissed, I said, or replaced, or explained away. He didn't respond immediately, and for the first time, he didn't redirect either. What are we supposed to do now? He asked the same question, just a different situation. This time, it wasn't about bookings or plans. It was about something more basic. I'm sure you'll figure it out, I said, not dismissive, not sarcastic, just returned. We ended the call without resolution, no apology. No agreement, just a shift that neither of us could undo mid-conversation. The messages slowed after that, not because things were fixed, but because they weren't, because something that had been quietly held in place was now visible. Later that evening, my son sat next to me on the couch. Why did she say that? He asked finally. I looked at him. There it was. I chose my words carefully. Sometimes people repeat things they hear, I said, even if they don't understand them. He nodded slowly. Is it true? No, I said. It isn't. That part was simple. He leaned against me, accepting that without needing more. Kids do that when they trust you. I realized then, this wasn't just about stopping something. It was about what I was willing to let stand in front of him, what I allowed to define us. The house felt quieter that night, not empty, just steady. Nothing had been resolved, but something had been set in place, and this time, I wasn't the one holding everything together.